Thank you for coming on a Thursday. I know it's probably hard for y'all to make it. Thank y'all for coming again, and we are fortunate to have Rob here. He was the leader of SEQL, or he's the co-founder and CEO of SEQL, which is a high school recruiting platform for all types of athletes, and give him a huge welcome. All right, so Rob, obviously you excelled as an athlete in high school, but outside of that, what were your academic interests, and did that play a role in your college decision to attend VMI?
Yeah, that's a good question. So y'all know Trinity, right? I went to Trinity. There were 99 kids in my graduating class. I was number 98 out of 99. The kid I started this company with, my best friend, Bryant, he was number 97. So academics were not our thing. I really wanted to go to a school that just let me in, and I was fortunate that VMI did that.
That's awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit about your recruiting process and why VMI was like the right fit for you?
Yeah. So my recruiting process was a little bit all over. Actually, I grew up a swimmer. I swam at Nova and transitioned into football, and I started off as like a cornerback, because I was like a really skinny kid when I was swimming. And then I gained a lot of weight. So when I gained weight, started to get recruited by colleges, big and small. Virginia Tech, UVA were some of them. Ended up, really deciding on VMI because I needed the structure. I'm a really, really ADD individual, and I just needed the structure, right? I really looked at individuals in my life that had gone to VMI that were older and said, wow, these are great people. I admire these people. When I have a family, I would love to be what these people were in my life. And ultimately as well, it was just a great academic school for me. And I'm really glad I went there. Yeah,
that's awesome. So when you were in college, what did you think you would pursue with your business major?
I didn't know. I mean, I wanted to get into entrepreneurship. I wanted to start a company, definitely, as my dad did. But I didn't know, I was 25 when I started a company. I didn't think I was 25 years old. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. Sometimes I still don't know what I want to do. So like when you go, how y'all freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, all of them? If you don't know what you want to do, don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. Life will take its course. I didn't know what I want to do. I really still sometimes don't know what I want to do. So yeah.
Well, that's interesting. So did you just mentioned like wanting to be an entrepreneur, but did you graduate with like the plan of starting your own company? Like, was that like your like goal since high school, or did that kind of grow upon you when you went to college?
It's always been my goal to be in that entrepreneurship route. Just really didn't know what it was going to be. Didn't know if it was going to be a sports company, ice cream company. But yeah, I always wanted to become an entrepreneur because you can create your own narrative, and thankfully I'm in a narrative right now that's impacting a lot of people.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know many people are curious on what exactly SEQL is and how exactly the company makes their money. So could you describe SEQL for those who may be unfamiliar?
Yeah. So we're actually going through like a kind of like transition right now within the company. So we are, how many people know what SEQL means? What does it mean? It means sports equality. Don't get a tattoo of your own company, all right? I got another one on my ankle. So we're building this awesome tech platform that ultimately will connect high school athletes and college coaches, and then college athletes and brands. But we know that y'all like content, right? Y'all like videos, y'all like watching videos. So within our app, when it launches, you're gonna be able to go on, and who are some of y'all's like favorite athletes? Y'all know who like DeAndre Hopkins is? People of that nature. Okay, so he invested in our company. So if you're a football player, right, you're gonna be able to go on, and you're gonna be able to watch short form content on how to become a better football player, all right? You're gonna learn real life stuff from an educational content perspective as well, mental health. You're gonna learn about financial literacy. You're gonna learn how to become a better student and a better athlete. And the other unique experience that we're gonna do within our platform is, y'all know that Wright's a videographer, right? Y'all like that type of stuff, that type of content? So let's just say y'all got a game tomorrow, right? In the middle of nowhere, you're gonna come onto our platform. Y'all know Uber? You're gonna be able to click a button, like calling an Uber. All the videographers in that region, like Wright, will get a notification on their phone saying, oh, I can go to a game tomorrow, like the Uber driver can pick you up. We'll send the videographer to that game for free, capture all your footage, and then boom, when you're on the way home after you beat collegiate, you get a notification, your SEQL footage has been uploaded to your profile, right? That's gonna create the supply side of the market. We're free for athletes. So we gotta build out this big pool of athletes in order for a college coach to say, hey, I wanna come on here and find my talent. Or a brand to say, hey, I wanna come on here and use Wright for this next promotional video, right? Because college athletes can get paid now. Our thesis is, hey, let's build trust, let's build rapport, let's build the best experience for y'all at your earliest career so that when you do get to the collegiate level, if you're aspiring to be a collegiate athlete, we're gonna connect you with brands. So that's really what SEQL is, right? From a business model perspective, we're free for athletes. With that said, first capital for us from a revenue perspective will be from corporations. There's a lot of craziness in this world that happened last year. Y'all know that with George Floyd and all this craziness going on in this world from a inequality perspective. Well, we're equality. We're going after and providing initiatives, providing resources to individuals and companies like that, right? We're advancing racial, socioeconomical, educational equality. And because we're providing these initiatives, and it may not be all to individuals like yourself, right? Like y'all are at St. Christopher's, and I learned a lot. I went to Trinity. When I went into the outside world, I really saw, wow, there were people in certain socioeconomic situations that do not have the same luxuries that we do at this table. So corporations, big and small, want to get involved and provide capital, meaning money, to companies that are providing educational resources that y'all are getting in your gym over there from a virtual perspective to kids in lower income communities. So our first capital will become from these big time corporations, and it's really like impact as a service. You know what software as a service is. There's this new line called impact as a service, and it's companies providing resources, providing opportunities to those in economically disadvantaged situations. So that's the first capital, right? To offset these cool features, these unique, these purposeful features that we're providing y'all. Then colleges, they're gonna pay an annual fee, and it's called annual SaaS fee, software as a service fee, to have access to the database of players, where they can discover athletes like searching for a house on Zillow. And then we're gonna connect athletes with brands, right? So I'm gonna connect Wright with Nike to do a promo video. And because we did that through our platform, we're gonna take a percentage cut from the brand. So it's multiple different revenue streams, right? Right now, we're entirely free. We don't want this to be a Richmond company. We don't want this to be a United States company. We want this to be the next big thing. And that means you don't focus on getting revenue in the door right now. You focus on creating a beneficial, a meaningful brand, and we're doing that in the sports ecosystem. So I know that's a lot. Some of these words y'all might not know. I just learned what they were yesterday, so yeah.
So you mentioned like colleges being involved and having to pay that annual fee. Like how many colleges are involved in the SEQL app right now, or the SEQL platform?
Yeah, so we have contracts from a ton of universities. So actually our first contract, y'all know Virginia Tech? So let's just say I'm pitching you and you're Virginia Tech and I'm telling you about this platform. The guy at Virginia Tech liked it so much, he quit his job, he joined us, and his dad even wrote a really, really big check in our last funding round. So that was our first contract, right? When he said that he even had any type of inclination joining our company, I mean, I've never wanted an employee, a colleague, so bad, and it's really, really paid off. So that was a really, really big thing for us, is to get him saying, dang, this idea that me and number 97 and 98 actually had is meaningful, right? This guy believed it, and yeah.
So did that boost of confidence really help y'all to try to keep expanding after getting that guy to come work for you?
Oh, for sure, yeah, but we don't get complacent, right? When you get a big win, a lot of people go celebrate and, they dick around and they, but no, when you have a big accomplishment, you figure out why you got that accomplishment and you keep expanding and you apply it to the lessons learned. You never get complacent, right? Because when you're not working, someone else is.
That's awesome. So here's a question from one of our members, Trip Owen. So what inspired you to start your own company rather than taking what could be called the easy route and working for a company that's already been established?
Yeah, I think a lot of times in large corporations, and it's not always the case, you're a fish in the ocean, right? You're finding Nemo in the big ocean. You're just another animal, right? You're just clocking the clock, and you might make the most meaningful impact, but you still got to do A, B, and C to really get seen in somebody's eyes, right? And I wanted to write my own narrative. I wanted to help other people in a meaningful, impactful way, knowing that, yeah, I am 27, but I'm actually using that to my advantage. Yeah, I am young, and yeah, I didn't get good grades, but I don't really care because I know that like here, I know that I had an idea, and I knew that this idea could really turn into a concept that could be meaningful. And in my perception, in my mind, you can't really do that in the corporate world because there's so much legality and there's so much structure. I mean, I could change the name of our company right now at this very moment. Like, you can't, I mean, I would never do that. And actually, I really can't do that. But like, at a large corporation, it'd probably take about 8.5 years to change the name. And we could do it probably in 24 hours.
Yeah, so what was your hardest obstacle when you were starting SEQL?
The hardest obstacle when we were starting SEQL was finding a technical employee, right? I don't know anything about tech. I don't know how to code. Bryant didn't know anything about that. We really had to find someone. I mean, I don't know anything about, I mean, I know a little bit about the language now, right? Being in it every single day, but that is such a unique capability, such a unique skill to have. And I encourage all of y'all to at least learn the basics of that, because looking, from when y'all are going to be, 5, 10, 2, 3, 4 years from an internship, that's a really, really technical skill that people are looking for. And we just didn't know that. And it was really, really hard to find somebody, right? Because we didn't know the language. Someone could have BS'd us and said, we got really, really lucky. He actually went to St. Christopher's. And the guy that is our CTO, the company that he previously co-founded, last week raised $100 million at a $1.35 billion valuation, right? And he was sitting in these same lunch chairs as y'all. So like, remember that. Like, don't get complacent. Don't ever let anybody tell you no. And you can always achieve what you want to and more.
So you mentioned getting lucky and finding the tech guy. Like, what was the process in really finding someone that you could trust when you really didn't know anything about like the whole tech?
Yeah, I mean, at first we were just like posting up on LinkedIn, went on some coffee meetings. Didn't really go well. We actually were thankful. We actually got connected to some advisors. We got connected to some people with some large organizations that like knew the technical lingo. These 3 individuals, those technical advisors, really vetted out this candidate for us, right? We've messed up. Like, there's been a lot of times since then where I've been like, I really like this person, I'm not gonna vet him out, and they didn't work out. The motto in the business world is hire slow, fire fast. With Peter, we hired very slow and we did our due diligence so that we really found the right hire.
So you just mentioned the motto, but I find your motto pretty like unique, and it being like 1 + 1 = 3. So like, what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, well, in the startup world, right? When you're at a large corporation, you can make 1 + 1 = 2, right? And that works. But like with where we are, we're in Richmond, Virginia, right? We're trying to build the biggest and best sports company in the entire world out of Richmond, Virginia, that has 2 mid-major small teams, no professional organizations. We got an airport that you got to take 18 direct flights to get anywhere else. We're in a small spot, right? But we've done it, right? We've got D-Hop, we got Quinn, we got Nancy Lieberman, we got Barry Sanders on our board of directors. Y'all might not know who Barry Sanders is, but I know you know who's the best NFL running back of all time, right? And we had the motto that we can make anything happen. You got to make 1 + 1 = 3. You got to have, I'm going to get there with limited resources, and that's what it means. It means I'm going to make 3 happen with 2, right? It's making what a lot of people get scared about. A lot of people say it can't happen. No, anything can effing happen. You just have to have the mindset, and you got to do it with limited resources.
So you just mentioned partnering with like D-Hop and Quinn Cook and Barry Sanders. How are you able to like get in contact with them, and let alone get them to invest in your company?
Yeah, so I said Virginia Tech earlier. Y'all didn't know UVA, right? I was on LinkedIn one day and I found this guy named Cecil White. I'm excited for him to hear this. Cecil is a year older than me. He's a sports agent. He's from Hampton, went to UVA. Randomly just came across him on LinkedIn one day. I sent him a message. He didn't respond. No, he responded, and then he missed the first meeting or something like that. And then I hit him back, finally got in touch, and we just vibed. And he's Odell's agent. He's Venus Williams' agent. He's Dior Johnson. Y'all know Dior? Basketball player, hooper right now. Shadir, like all these big-time athletes. And he's really put us into their pipeline. And it's turned into some pretty eventful experiences, some fun times. I got COVID at Snoop Dogg's house.